Who is more challenging to mold into a WWE superstar, a Julia or a Stephanie Vacquet?
Well, look, I will say this, Bob. I think the most challenging thing right now with those particular talent is a communication aspect, and making sure that they're understanding what you're conveying, especially when you're talking about those subtleties. And that's something that certainly myself personally, I'm trying to really do my best, because sometimes words mean different things in other languages, and so making sure that I choose my words carefully with the two of them has been the biggest challenge, certainly from my standpoint. From a coaching standpoint, I think everybody's as best that I understand that the response has been fantastic, that because they're both very talented young ladies, obviously. So I think when it comes to, again, helping them accentuate that presence that they already have and help them with that presentation, that's where, again, for me, I think it's the most challenging. The thing is, though, we're also taking it very slow because of that language barrier. So we're obviously being patient. I think they're being unbelievably understanding, and I think they're also doing their best to try to find better ways to communicate with us as well, and also ways to allow us to help them or help us with the things that they feel like they need to work with. So a lot of that is asking them, getting their feedback and finding areas where we can help them the most.
Sean, last question for me, and Halloween Havoc coming up on Sunday at the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and also available on Peacock, exclusively on Peacock. Trick Williams, your NXT champion, Sean, it's unbelievable, and he just celebrated his 3-year anniversary in this profession and with NXT, and his growth has been phenomenal. Is there something you'd still love to see from Trick Williams moving forward, or is there something, maybe just a little piece of the puzzle, that may be missing from Trick Williams?
Well, look, I'll say this, and I think Bubba's, again, he's been very honest and outspoken about this. And look, I guess we can have a little bit of difference of opinion when it comes to, like, he's missing that one thing. I don't know that there's missing a one thing, but I think, again, for instance, again, this Devil's Playground match that he's going to have with Ethan Page. Ethan has been doing this a long time. Yes, Trick's been in a cage match, he's been in a last man standing match, but not with guys the likes of an Ethan Page. I think Ethan is going to push him in a way that the other two have not, and it's sometimes hard to, help the viewer understand, but Bubba, you know what I'm talking about. Again, and I'm not talking ECW hardcore, I'm just talking about sometimes there's a limit that you have to be able to push a talent to, from a hardcore. How really rough and rugged are you? How much are you willing to put your body on the line, again, out of love and passion for this job? And I think that's something for me that I think is going to get tested at Halloween Havoc. And look, there's also what we've talked about this numerous times. There's some things you just can't help, and that is time. Time and reps. That is something that Trick has no control over it. So he's getting a lot of variety in his 3 years. He's done a lot of things, but to do a lot of things once or twice is okay, but until you've learned kind of to master all of them, there's always going to sometimes feel like something's missing. And I think those are times, and again, I don't want to put words in Bubba's mouth, that, I think that's sometimes what he's talking about, is that there's just maybe a toughness, maybe that, that he wants to see out of a Trick Williams. Bob, I'll let you speak on it as opposed to trying to talk.
Here, and I totally understand what you're saying, so I just want to take the constructive criticism that I've had for Trick, and I just want to apply it to you. Who were you in the ring with that brought it out of you to a level in which you didn't even realize you had?
Well, look, I will say this. I think, again, because there are times, right, we as the athlete feel like we've got it. But you don't really know. The match that always stands out for me, and again, they got, because in smaller territories and stuff like that, I think that, for instance, I think I showed my toughness in the Rockers versus Buddy Rose and Doug Summers in the infamous cage match in Las Vegas. But until I put myself on the map, I think with Mick Foley at Mind Games showing a different side of me, I think that's the one where people looked at Shawn Michaels and said, okay, he's a dude that can go to that rougher, more rugged level that we didn't know. He's a good wrestler, he's a good technician, he can fly, he can do all of these things, but can he get down and dirty? And I think the match with Mick at Mind Games is the one that sort of made people think that. And then obviously I built on that with the Hell in a Cell and, countless other blood feuds after that. But I think people have to see that you enjoy those, that there's a part of you that enjoy those. It's one thing to endure them. It's another thing to get excited and really enjoy those kinds of matches. And that's something that I obviously learned how to do. And I think, again, I think that's something that I'd like to see out of Trick. And again, sometimes that comes from just being, weathered like leather sometimes. And that just comes over time.
Again, Halloween Havoc this Sunday, October 27th, the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Also exclusively on Peacock. I will be in the building, section 226, row 15. You'll see Bully Ray, I'm sure, at ringside, right up against the ropes and, about 5 feet from the ring.
Well, Dave, I want you to know, I will try to find an usher to run up into the notes with you and try to find you and get you, see if I can get you a good seat. But obviously, Bubba, you are invited. Look forward to seeing you. And I will say again, on a side note, I'm sorry sometimes I get so deep into here, but Bubba, there's times I get into a conversation with you and I can sit there and talk about, wrestling in our business all day. So I apologize if I get a little long-winded and down in the weeds about some of that teaching and psychology stuff, but it's something I enjoy. That's why I enjoy listening to you guys. I appreciate you going above and beyond from a business standpoint.
We love having you on, Sean, for that in-depth type of discussion, because there's nobody in this business who understands it or did it better than you, and I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. So when you get a real education on this show and it's coming from you, like I find myself so invested, and I know our listeners absolutely love it. So thanks for coming on this morning. Best of luck at Halloween Havoc, and do what you guys do.
Will do, man. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Thank you.
See you on Sunday. Again, Sunday, October 27th, Halloween Havoc at the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And again, if you can't make it out to Pennsylvania, you can watch it exclusively on Peacock. All right, Bully, we'll react to Shawn Michaels and everything NXT when we're back right here on Busted Open. If you're a fan of MMA, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash every fight night on Underdog. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite fighter's stats like finish type, fight time, and more. Millions of fans from all over the U.S. have won over $1 billion on Underdog. Underdog is offered in 33 states across the U.S. Sign up for Underdog today using promo code BUSTED, and you'll get a free pick as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's promo code BUSTED. Cash in on every fight night this season with Underdog. Must be 18 years old or older, 21 years old or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 years old or older in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783. Or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Stick with them, man, but you find that you're not
conversation with Shawn Michaels. And interesting, Shawn Michaels never in the ECW arena.
It's got to be kind of cool because you heard I think you heard the tone, the inflection in his voice that he's excited to be there. Excited to go there for the first time. I mean, he was working in the WWE on Monday Night Raw when those three letters started getting chanted, on Monday Night Raw in those arenas. So he could see what all the hullabaloo was about. Although he's going to walk into the place, he'd be like, wow, this place is really nice.
Yeah, it is. It is very nice now. And then, of course, if anybody is going to that show, you got to go to the men's room. You got to take that picture with that ECW mural that's in the men's room. Bully, it's the WWE, so I think I already know the answer to this question, but I almost wish that NXT would, tone down the production just a little bit because it's the ECW arena. Maybe get a little bit back to basics. Maybe make it a little bit more dark and underproduced than overproduced and well lit and production-wise be high class. I almost would like it because it's the ECW arena, maybe to scale back on some of that stuff altogether a little bit.
I don't agree because then you're trying to be something that you're not, and you're trying to imitate something that you never were. NXT is NXT. I think the beauty, the uniqueness, the romantic part of it, if you will, is that product going into the ECW arena. I don't know if the WWE, since taking acquisition of ECW at a bankruptcy court, has ever done anything at the arena. Have they?
I don't think so.
I remember
so.
last year at WrestleMania, when I was the greatest special guest referee of all time, we did a tour of the ECW arena. Me, Devon, and Spike, I think maybe Rhino was there, did a tour of the arena for WWE VIP ticket holders, where they got to be part of like a meet and greet, a little press conference, photo ops in the ring. Other than that, I don't remember, and I'm sure the nation will remind me if the WWE has ever done anything from the ECW arena, but I think this is a first for them.
I mean, the only way that I think they would have done that, Bully, is if it was like that WWE version of ECW. But even with that, I don't think that they ever did anything in the ECW arena. They usually tape these ECW shows before a Monday Night Raw. So I don't know if they ever did that in the ECW arena.
Just so you know, and Paul, I need you or Andre to check this out, back it up. I think I'm right, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. I think they're reporting, and it says Mike Johnson reported on this, that it's already sold out. The pre-sale's already sold out.
All right, I mean, it wouldn't. Paul is definitely going to check that, but the tickets go on sale. Tickets went on sale this morning, correct?
People are screen capping and sending us a copy of the pre-sale that says pre-sale is sold out.
Interesting. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. It's small, and yeah. I mean, it's small, and NXT has been doing well outside of the Performance Center, and Paul just confirmed, yes, it is sold out. But Bully, a lot of again is like I said with AEW, if they would have done the Hammerstein instead of Grand Slam, like how many you know better than me. How many seats are in the Hammerstein? 4,000?
Approximately 4,000.
And like
maybe
AEW,
less. Maybe less.
Right, but let's just say 4,000. Like AEW has kind of struggled, other than premium live events, to get 4,000 in certain areas and certain. I guarantee you, if AEW would have done the Hammerstein for Grand Slam instead of Arthur Ashe, it would have sold out in a day. Just because it's like, oh my God, there's only 4,000 seats. I want to see Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson one more time in this iconic venue. I got to be there. There would have been a rush for people to buy tickets, and it doesn't matter if you're in a 20,000 seat arena or a 4,000 seat arena. When you sell out, and you sell out in record time, it just you gain a little momentum by doing that. Hey, NXT selling out in however time it was to sell out, doesn't matter if it only holds 1,000 people. It's still a sellout, and you did it in record time.
And here's the thing with AEW and Arthur Ashe. The numbers, they've been there like, I don't know, 5 times approximately?
No,
numbers,
less than that. I think 4 times.
Okay, 4 times. The numbers have dwindled.
Yes.
This being the least biggest house that they've had. First of all, there's nothing special about the look of Arthur Ashe. Even when there's 22,000 people in it, it's still it's still an arena, indoor, outdoor arena, whatever it is. It's not going to look that much different. So let's talk about a perception and a reality. The perception of AEW leaving Arthur Ashe and going to another building. The perception could be, oh well, they have to go to a smaller building. But going to the Hammerstein in reality, even though it's smaller, the perception is it's the Hammerstein. That's where ECW did One Night Stand. That's the place where there's this vibe, this electricity, this feel. AEW going into the Hammerstein, it's a wash perception-wise. Yes, you're going into a smaller building, but that building is going to give you back, in spades, what you're losing in the amount of tickets. You can charge more for the ticket there. The vibe and the feel is going to blow Arthur Ashe away. I have performed there for Ring of Honor when we've done Ring of Honor New Japan shows. I obviously One Night Stand. So I think moving forward, it's probably not a horrible idea for AEW or NXT for that matter to go into the Hammerstein.
And listen, for this last Grand Slam, for me, it was about Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness. The last time I saw those two in the ring together, it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom. They had so many iconic battles in that building. It could have been like Nigel McGuinness in a promo, even though he only had a couple weeks to cut promos leading up to that match. He could have said, not only do I want you at the Hammerstein, where we both bled in that building. I want you. I guarantee you, it would have sold out in a day. And it would, that perception that you're talking about going to a smaller venue, as soon as you say sold out, nobody's thinking about that it's a smaller venue. It's like, this is iconic, this is historic, and I have to be there. And it would have started to build some more momentum for AEW. But like Bully, I like what you said. That's something that they might be able to do in the future. And like you said, I would love for NXT, hey, where we saw Monday Night Raw in that building, to have NXT there. It doesn't matter when it comes to history, Bully, and you notice it's really not about the size of the venue. It's about the history and how fans think about that iconic venue. That's the same thing with ECW Arena. When you have a ticket to ECW Arena, or when you're watching this next month, you're not going to be thinking, it's a tiny venue, it's small. Perception-wise, so much bigger, but it actually is. So that's what you want to come across to your viewer, and I think NXT will do that on a Wednesday next month.
Looking forward to November the 6th, NXT in the arena versus AEW. Let's see what move AEW makes. Where is AEW on November 6th? Paul, Andre, get on. Just, curious to know what city they're in. Well, what city they're going up against. So it's Philadelphia versus, I don't know, whatever. We'll find out in a second. What's AEW going to do to combat that night?
Well, I'm interested because they're in Manchester, New Hampshire. AEW would be
not very far from one another.
No, it's actually not that. It's actually not that far at all. But I guess they are going head to head. The last time it wasn't head to head, an hour went head to head. But I would think that show, Bully, the full show is going to be going head to head. So I wonder what people are going to gravitate towards, and I wonder that will truly be, Bully. We can actually look at that and say, who won the night? Who won the night, perception-wise, who won the night in the 2 hours of their show? And when the viewership comes out, who won? It's going to be interesting, and I'm something in store for something at least special to go head to head with NXT on that Wednesday night.
If you remember what I said earlier in the conversation today about I hope the NXT performers get a crowd like we used to have back in the day. And then Sean even alluded to that special crowd and what we were willing to do to go out of our way for that audience and that fan base. To see that this place is already sold out, I think is very encouraging, not for the obvious reason of it sold out within minutes or whatever that is. I think it's very encouraging that who bought those tickets? Those are the diehards.
Yep.
Those are and I use the word rabid, and Sean used the word rabid. Those are those rabid fans. Those are those ECW arena fans who know what they want to be a part of. It's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be live TV, NXT. We're going to be loud. We're going to be rowdy. You're not going to be able to control the atmosphere. This atmosphere, if I had to guess, should be one of those special ones where fans can just do whatever they want. And it's not like doing whatever you want in the 200 section and maybe they hear you on TV.
Right?
Yeah.
Michael, man.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Not a problem. Have a
Appreciate
good
my
one.
cousin's an idiot.
Hey, not a problem.
All right, then, thank you.
See ya.